It's funny because I was going to do a video crying about, oh my God, how much I hate February. February sucks. February's terrible. Maybe like a few months ago or something, somebody asked me on one of my streams, what's the worst month? And I said February. And like everyone agreed with it. Just because it's like, I mean, what the fuck happens in February? I guess you could say, well, the Super Bowl, but that's one day. But you know what? I was kind of thinking about it today, and it's literally the first sunny day in the last 2 weeks. That's kind of the main focus of this video, just how horrible just the overcast weather has been in my area. Well, 2 weeks ago, we had terribly dense fog for I want to say 5 or 6 straight days, and the fog came back for a day like 3 days ago or something. And it's not just fog in the morning, because you can understand that, I guess, but it's strange. Like, it'll be 40 degrees, it's mid-January, it'll be piss raining, and if you don't know what piss raining is, you know, it's like 40 degrees, it's supposed to be snowing, but it's too warm, and everything's wet, the entire ground is wet, the snow is kind of melting because it's too warm, but it's not fully melted, so just everything is wet, and the snow is there, and you can see part of the grass. That's just the vibe I've been dealing with, and it's constantly overcast every single day. It is overcast. And like 2 weeks ago, oh my God. And it was fog throughout the entire day. Like thorough fog. To where you can barely even see when you're driving. And it's funny because now it is February 1st and it's the first sunny day. I can actually see the sun, the first sunny day in probably 2 or 2.5 weeks. Honestly, maybe even longer than that. I mean, it's been really bad. But that's what to expect, I guess, when it comes to the winter. It's, interesting. When I was younger, I never really realized just how little the sun came out during the winter. But as you get older, you start realizing it's very depressing. But yeah, it's just been so shitty out. And now it is the month of February. And, it's not that I have anything horrible against February. There's just nothing that happens in February. I think last year, my least revenue month was February. Now, it makes sense considering the ad revenue is down in general in January and February. This year, I did make pretty good money in January, I'm not going to lie. It's always tough when the month turns just because of how YouTube, they only pay once a month. So it's like you want to hit a certain number. And like once you get to like the 23rd or the 24th of the month, if you have a decent amount, you kind of like relax. I mean, I'll still upload 3 or 4 videos every day, but you kind of just like, all right, I kind of hit my quota, Although YouTube's a weird job because it's like, technically you have the potential to make a lot more money pretty much every day you do this. If one of your videos goes crazy, you use that as a snowball. That's really never happened to me outside of maybe the Titan situation, but I'm actually very proud of my channel's performance in January because I really didn't have an outlier video that carried me. A video that got like a ton of views, and that you're probably never not going to have another video like that. It was all just kind of small stuff, but even having just small stuff, the threshold that I was able to reach in terms of revenue, I was very happy with. Now, I was also very happy that there were 31 days in January because, as a YouTuber, you compare month to month, you want as many days as possible. And maybe this year, February will be a little bit better because there is 29 days because of the leap year, not 28 days, so that is interesting. But yeah, it is February. At least it's sunny out today, I guess. It's just been so miserable. The craziest, most relatable things I feel, and you're only going to relate to this if you live in in like all 4 seasons type climate. So in the winter, it's freezing cold. In the spring, it gets decent out. In the summer, it's hot. In the fall, it gets cold again. If you live in a climate like that and you've experienced a winter where let's just say it's like a month straight where the high is 30 degrees, the low is 17, aka it's just constantly cold. The euphoria that you feel that first day, like if it's March 13th or March 14th, you go outside and it's 58 degrees and you see the flowers starting. I vividly remember, it's a core memory of mine. I can't remember the exact year. Maybe it was like 2014, but I might have been like in 8th grade or something, and I was outside, and it was like March Madness was about to start, and it had just rained, it had just stopped raining, and it was like 54 degrees, and it's such a, like, it's an amazing feeling. I can't describe it, but it takes like 20 straight days of the weather being terrible, and then it's just this one day where it's nice and you're like, wow. But yeah, I've just been working out more, trying to get back into the gym, trying to, maybe have a goal of something. Although I've never been good with the gym of trying to do shit, because it's like you either have to commit to a bulk or you're just going to be skinny. And I've kind of just been skinny, but at least you can get in better shape, I guess. It's funny, like I used to always do this cardio machine and I tried doing it. I probably did this cardio machine for like a year straight, nonstop. I was 30 minutes, and you build up your endurance. And I tried doing it like 2 weeks ago. I could do like 7 minutes on it. But I guess that's kind of what happens when you stop it for 3 or 4 months, because that was really my hiatus. But yeah, in terms of what's going on in my life, really not much. I'm just trying to grind and make money. I mean, at this point with my investments, I have another 10. Well, actually, I think it's down to 8,500. Yeah, 8,500 originally. Well, let me just go back. The thing that I was going to do, I was just going to say, you know what? I'm done with crypto investing. I've got enough money in the market. We're going to ride it to the bull run, whatever. But I've kind of changed my tune a little bit, and I decided to throw around 10K more in, just because this is really, I mean, we've got the bull run coming. It's an amazing time to invest. So I'm slowly entering more money into the market. And we might even see more of a retracement after the halving, because that's normally what happens, even though the halving is very bullish. Normally you get the bull run 4 or 5 months after it. It's a little bit delayed. That's why I'm kind of keeping money. I've got money, it's in my Kraken account. It's not fully in yet. It's not like I've made investments, but it's ready to where it can go right in. And I mean, I'm not telling anyone to invest into cryptocurrency, but what I will say, when I got back into it, and I don't want to make this a video about this, but I just want to say this really quick. I got back into it about September, and oh my God, the banks hated me. PNC doesn't touch anything with crypto, trying to invest even into Coinbase. And by the way, I would not recommend Coinbase. What I use to get my money into crypto is through Kraken. That is the site that I use, and it's been perfectly fine. There's been no issues. We'll see what happens when I withdraw. I would guess there's probably going to be no issues with that. There's so many people right now scrambling, trying to move to other countries outside of the US. So many people moving to Dubai just because there's no taxes in Dubai, and you get kind of fucked in the United States. Like, if I made $5 million, let's say I have $5 million in USDC, which is a stable coin for the US dollar. I tried cashing that out. I mean, I'd be able to cash it out for $5 million, and then I'd owe probably about $2 million out of those $5 million in taxes, especially depending, and it's very hard to prove this. Well, I guess you might be able to prove it if there's different applications you can look at, like go back into your wallet history. The short-term capital gain tax versus the long-term. If you hold a coin for over a year, it's a long-term, it's a less percentage. But either way, I would say when I was onboarding again into crypto, and it's funny because I was trying to find answers, like, how do I get my money into crypto without pulling teeth? I mean, this is my money. And I ended up going to this small bank. It was a credit union. And I talked to the lady, and she was like, yeah, we don't deal with crypto, but you should look at online banking. So that's what I've been doing. I've been using, and that lady literally saved me. I mean, I'm sure I'd figure it out eventually, but Ally Bank, that's what I use, and that's how I get my money into crypto. It's not, I mean, I had a Fifth Third account I tried setting up for this. They were assholes about it. It's just all these banks want to protect themselves from any type of issues when it comes to that. So yeah, for me, it's through Ally Bank and through Kraken. That's what I use to get my money into crypto, and it seamlessly does it. And Coinbase is such a fucking joke. Maybe you guys have had success with Coinbase. I've had issues with Coinbase going back to when I was like 17, and they originally banned me. They found out I was underage. But I think the other issue is I've had like 4 or 5 different accounts on Coinbase, so they automatically restrict them. And I had like $4,000, and I ended up just saying, you know what, I'm just done with Coinbase. I requested to withdraw my money, and it actually worked. I was able to withdraw it probably like 3 months ago. Dude, my meme coin sports marketplace is about to go crazy. It's about to explode. I'll be retiring soon. I'll be seeing you guys later. I'll be seeing you later. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on with me and crypto, and That's mainly what I'm focused on. Obviously, my normal job is just to make videos. Being at the start of the month, this month only being 29 days, it's a little bit tedious, you know. I mean, it is what it is. You know, after a certain point, once you backlog enough videos, and I mean, think about September with 9/11 with all the videos I already have, the views on those. I mean, a lot of those have died out, but I think they're going to pick back up. A lot of them, I mean, they're all evergreen videos. You can watch them at any time. It's not like I'm doing an immediate news update and then it's useless, just kind of like my NFL predictions and things like that. Those are all evergreen videos, so they compound, the views compound. A few of them, what's happened to them is kind of annoying because I'll get them through the ad check and it'll be fine. And then it'll come back to me 2 weeks later and say, oh no, now we have to restrict it. I don't know if it's one of their systems doing it or whatever, but a human will review it and then the whole system is so weird. I'll just tell you this about YouTube. I will upload a video and the content will be dicey and it won't go through. So the human will review it and they'll say, no, this is not suitable. So I'll take the video down before it gets uploaded because at that point it's just a draft. I will re-upload the exact same thing, changing one little picture not even changing a picture, just changing the video slightly to make it a different file. And then it'll go through and the human review will be like, yeah, it's perfectly fine. So the whole thing, it's just a crapshoot. It's just completely ridiculous. But in general, when it comes to my life right now, I mean, there's really not much happening other than just crypto and YouTube at this point. And I mean, I'll watch sports, college basketball going on, March Madness. March Madness might be a little bit better for me this year to where I might be able to actually make, some more videos. And because normally March Madness, it's like a 2-week event. Like if you actually want to make money with March Madness, it's not like college football to where the entire season you can milk views and talk about it and make all these different videos. March Madness, people really don't give a fuck about college basketball unless it's March Madness. And I'm saying that in a general sense. I mean, obviously there are people that care, but in terms of YouTube viewership, I don't know, my bracketology videos, they're not getting many views, but they're certainly getting a lot more views than they did when I did this last year. It's almost like they're up 3 or 4 times. So I'm wondering if that might actually be a good inkling on possibly having more success in March Madness. And March Madness, it's free content to make in terms of it's very easy. You do updates, things like that, and it's like a free video every day. If I'm doing 3, 4, 5 videos a day, do a March Madness video pretty much every day in March, and it's that simple. Sometimes you do 2 or 3 videos depending. Especially when you're previewing all the conferences and all the regions. So that's basically what's been going on. Oh yeah, here's my logo. Well, it's not my logo. It's just I'm throwing around the idea. It's funny because you can just search on Google logo with the letters DG, which is just my abbreviation for my channel name. And there'll be a bunch of different things. It's almost like the AI does it. Like even just in Google Images. And I found this one, I cleaned it up a little bit, and people will say, well, you really can't tell that that's a D and a G, and I think that's kind of the point of a logo. Like, you don't want it to be too obvious, but you can kind of tell that it's an uppercase D and a G with the font. I don't know, man, it kind of looks like, Arabic or some weird thing, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make that my actual logo, but just in general, I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Maybe I will change it to that. I've always wanted, like, a cool shape design. And I feel like that's subtle. Like, it's not obvious that it's DG, but you can tell. And, it's kind of like symmetrical. I don't know. It's just like the wavy design. I did kind of want a rugged design, but that was like the best one that I could find. And it just turned out to be wavy. And, it just looks pretty good. But I guess in terms of like my dating life, it's terrible. I mean, it's typical, man. I've gotten denied a few times. I'm just fucking over it, you'll see girls at the gym and stuff. It's just like, I don't know. It's awkward as hell. It's very awkward, but it's not like I'm on any dating apps or anything. I think at this point with my, YouTube career, it's probably best I've outgrown that stuff. Not that it really fucking matters. I mean, I went on it, back like during Christmas or before Christmas, and I just fucking struck out every time. So, either way, guys, that's just kind of my life update. I was going to talk about something. I don't even know what else I was going to talk about. I think it was just mainly based around February, it being cloudy, what's going on, developments in crypto, and I mean, I was going to kind of talk about my future, but I don't know, it's like weird with finances. One of the things this is something that I will say, when I was younger and I had just gotten into YouTube, I was always pissed off at like bigger creators, and I would be like, why can't they just tell me how much money they make? It's not that big of a deal. And as you actually start making money on YouTube, you understand why they don't disclose that. Because in general, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not going to tell you how much money I make. I make a lot more money than you think I do. That is all I will say. And so it's just a funny thing because when I had just gotten on YouTube and I was like making very small money, I was like, they should just tell you how much they make. And then you actually make money and you're like, oh yeah, this is why they don't say anything. It makes sense now. But either way, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.